mean, it'll work. But it's just not ideal. Okay, men's single up first. Good morning, and we have the first race of the 2017 U19 U23 World Championship trials underway. Men's single, first race, and closest to the camera is Aaron Fernandez. Next to him, just further away from the camera, is Clark Dean. And then in lane 3, in the black boat, red top over there, is Dylan Dalperdre. And then on the far side is Eric Hoster. And out in front right now is Clark Dean by a significant margin. He appears to have at least a boat of open water on the rest of the field. Second place would be Aaron Fernandez. But Aaron Fernandez, as you can see, is maybe 2 boat lengths of open water behind as they pass the 500-meter mark. It's a frozen shot of Aaron Fernandez. Clark Dean out in front. There's Aaron Fernandez and Dylan Dalperdre and Eric Hoster. Clark Dean with a commanding lead in the U19 singles. Clark Dean began rowing in 2011 for Sarasota Crew down in Sarasota, Florida. And he took third in the quad at the 2016 U19 World Championships. So quite the seasoned sculler and doing a great job today. So it's about 500 meters to go. It is Clark Dean with a commanding lead over the rest of the field. It's beautiful conditions out here this morning. Just the teeniest whisper of a breeze, as you can see the little ripple on the water, but absolutely perfect conditions for these trials. When the buoys go from yellow to red, that means they are in the last 250 meters of the race. The juniors, the U19s, have a best 2 out of 3 format. So race 2 is scheduled for this evening starting at 6:45. As Mr. Dean does not feel very pressed, his rating is relatively low and is just having a nice row to the finish here. He's just a few strokes away. And Clark Dean is across the line. Going back out to find his competitors. That is Aaron Fernandez. And Mr. Fernandez is across the line. And Mr. Del Pedri is across the line. And Mr. Hoster is across the line. So that is the first race, men's single. Up next is the women's single. Referee signaling a fair race, and it appears all the competitors are okay. For times, you can go to herenow.com. And just so you know, the camera we're using is not the official finish line camera. It's just the video camera. The second race of the morning, the women's U19 single, Final 1, is underway. Closest to the camera is Claire Campbell, and next to her in the white top is Kathleen Dolan. Claire Campbell won the Youth National Championships earlier this month down in Sarasota. She was also on the junior national team in 2004. Comes from a family of impressive scullers. And she's doing a great job with a boat and a half of open water over Kathleen Dolan in lane 2. Pictures coming from the launch are not so great this morning. Apologize for that. But you can see the spread. Claire being well out in front. Claire Campbell from Maritime Rowing in Norwalk, Connecticut. And Kathleen Dolan rows for Narragansett Boat Club. with just a little more than 500 meters to go. Claire Campbell out ahead of Kathleen Dolan. Again, this is a best 2 out of 3, with the second race slated for this evening. The regatta starting at 6:45. With the advantage that Miss Campbell has right now, she is not pressing too hard. She just needs to maintain her advantage over her competitor to rack up the first win, the first best 2 out of 3. Claire Campbell across the line. And Miss Dolan across the line. Next up will be the men's pair. Referee signals a fair race. On the course right now is the men's pair. And the boat closest to us is Andrew Hickey and Daniel Stoddard from PNRA, the Princeton National Rowing Association, Mercer. And next to them on the outside is from OKC Riversport, that's Oklahoma City, is Mitchell Stroud and Cameron Tubb. And this looks like it's going to be a great race. They're 500 meters in. An advantage right now, a little bit to Mr. Hickey and Stoddard. Maybe, well, you can see it right there, about a deck length over Mr. Stroud and Tubb. PNRA now with a little bit of open water. And gaining a little bit more each time. They are sitting in a relatively comfortable position. It looks like they're gaining with each stroke just a little bit. OKC trying to hang on here. But PNRA definitely has the advantage because Mr. Hickey and Stoddard can look behind them and see exactly what Mr. Stroud and Tubb are doing. And if the OKC boat tries to make a move, it can easily be countered at this point, theoretically, by PNRA because they can see it coming. So at 500 meters, it's PNRA with about a little bit of open water over OKC, but OKC is starting to come back a little bit. All right, you guys are out. You guys are out. Now, as we get closer to the finish line, we have about 400 meters to go, 350 maybe. OKC was trying to make a move and come back. We'll see if OKC can ramp it up enough to catch the PNRA boat. As I said before, PNRA is sort of sitting in the catbird seat because they can see what's happening behind them and respond to it. Less than 250 meters to go. And now we'll be able to see both boats. PNRA still with about a boat length advantage, but that is being tightened by OKC, who got behind in the early going of this race, or through the middle. Now trying to make a strong comeback. Is it going to be enough as we get to the line? It is PNRA and OKC with just a slight bit of open water. So they will see each other again this evening at 6:45 for the best 2 out of 3 for the U19 champion or trials. That is the U19 format. U23, which is a little later this morning, is a one and done, but the U19 go best 2 out of 3, with the third race being tomorrow morning if need be. The women's pair is just a one boat race, and they just need to get from point A to point B to secure their spot on the team. And this is Ms. Burns and Ms. Bersani. And we'll just watch them come down the course. Per the rules, they have to go down the course and finish the event, even if they're the only boat. And this applies to the U23s and the senior team. You just have to get from A to B, and that's what they're doing this morning. And coming to the line, the women's pair of Burns and Bersani. Fair race. Everybody looks good. The referee looks at the crew to make sure they're upright and not in any distress. Gives them a few moments to do that and then calls for a fair race. There's the fan base for that boat. They were hooting and hollering for their pair. Oh, and I see a woman in the white shorts, Liz Trond, the junior national team coach, and I think those are her charges. Underway at the top of the course, we have the men's double. In lane 1, closest to the camera, Space Coast crew, Jason Bersani and Weston Hall. In lane 2, out in front right now from GMS Rowing Center, Nicholas Salazar and Jeffrey Schleer. We'll try that. Lane 3 from Seattle Rowing Center in the black boat and in third place right now is Noah Sullivan and Nick Angilio. And in lane 4 on the far side in the white boat is Thomas Satterwaite and Gregory Kane. And out in front, from lane 2, is the GMS crew. And they have open water on the rest of the field and looking very good. On the far side in second place, Mr. Satterwaite and Kane. And they are just at the 1,000-meter mark when we lost the picture. From the top of the boathouse, or the finish tower, lane 1 is on the far side. So we can see that lane 2 the GMS Rowing Center boat is out in front, maintaining that boat length lead over the rest of the field as they've passed through the 1,000-meter and coming up to the 1250. The U19 format is best 2 out of 3, so this is final 1. On the outside there, Mr. Satterwaite and Gregory Kane moving up a little bit. The camera boat's just a little bit behind, so I think there is some overlap between these boats as we get to the 500-meter mark. This angle is a little deceptive. The boats are a little bit closer together than it would appear. And here we are looking at GMS, Nicholas Salazar and Jeffrey Schleyer. We are trying to figure out which it is. As we come back there, we can see their closest competitor. But Mr. Schleyer and Salazar maintaining a bit of a lead, but it is being challenged from lane 4. Mr. Satterwaite and Mr. Kane. It's going to be less than a boat length as they get close to the line. Oh, it's tightening up. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I think the inside boat closest to us may have got that. You have to go to herenow.com to find the official results. They will be up momentarily. That was Seattle Rowing Center coming in 3rd and Space Coast Crew coming in 4th. Next up, and the last race of the U19 will be the women's double. And we'll get to that as soon as we get a picture from the camera launch. U19 women's double underway. Closest to the camera in lane 1 is Abby Fainoff and Haley Mead. Lane 2 in the middle, Sarah Brunsberg and Jenna Hardman. In lane 3 on the outside is Kayla Thomas and Carolyn McGee. And our leaders right now by about a half a boat, Abby Fainoff and Haley Mead. Second place on the outside is Kayla Thomas and Carolyn McGee. They're rowing for City Island Rowing. Abby Fainoff and Haley Mead rowing for the U.S. Junior Women's Selection Camp. Sarah Brunsberg and Jenna Hardman in third place right now, also rowing for the U.S. Junior Women's Selection Camp. So Fainoff and Mead maintaining that lead of about a boat length over Kayla Thomas and Carolyn McGee from City Island Rowing. Now in the middle, Sarah Brunsberg and Jenna Hardman, they appear to be moving back up. There you can see their bow. We're about the 1,000-meter mark. You can see their bow starting to come up on that third or on the second place boat. So we'll see if Ms. Brunsberg and Hardman get back into this. And they certainly do. Sarah Brunsberg and Jenna Hardman now overtaking the City Island rowing boat of Kayla Thomas and Carolyn McGee. Our leader still Fainoff and Mead out in front, but they are being challenged seriously here in the third 500. Brunsberg and Hardman just laying it down here in the third 500. Looking like they are just going to steadily row through the other boat of Fainoff and Mead. We will see what Fainoff and Mead have left, whether they can fend them off. But at this point in the race, with that kind of a challenge coming from Ms. Brunsberg and Hardman, I think they will be hard-pressed to stay on top of it, as they are now in second place by about a half a boat at the 500-meter mark. For the U19, it's a best 2 out of 3 series. The second race, the second final, is slated for this evening at 6:45. That's when it all starts. Brunsberg and Hardman bringing it home here, having a very slow start and being in a solid third place, now to leading by probably a boat length and maybe a little bit of open water. By the time they get to the finish line, this very well may be open water for Brunsberg and Hardman. And to the line, Brunsberg and Hardman with 2 boats of open water over Meade and Phaneuf. And coming in third, McGee and Thomas. And that is it for the U19 Finals. But again, this morning I should say, because this evening they will all be racing again in the best 2 out of 3 format. We are now on to the U23 Finals, and these are one and done. It's not a best 2 out of 3. It's first one across the line this morning. Mr. Mabry out in front. Kyle Mabry rowing for Penn AC at the 500-meter mark. Second place is Connor Donadio from GMS. Third and fourth is being battled out by Michael Yorn in lane 4 from Conshohocken and Caleb Edmondson from Greenwich. But our leader right now from Penn AC is Kyle Mabry. And he has a commanding lead over the field. This is a one and done for U23. So if he wins, he'll be heading off to Plovdiv, Bulgaria. And if you do a Google search or a Google Maps, you'll see that the rowing course is right on the edge of town. It's pretty neat. It's a beautiful little city. Into the red buoys, which signifies 250 meters to go. And he is 5-6 boat lengths of open water in the lead, just dominating this field. Kyle Mabry from Penn AC doing a great job. Connor Donadio from GMS in second. And then Michael Yaron and Caleb Edmondson battling it out for third and fourth. And across the line, Kyle Mabry. Followed by Connor Donadio. And these two, Caleb Edmondson and Michael Yorn, you'll have to go to herenow.com to see what the result for third and fourth was. Next up will be the U23 women's single, and we'll get to that as soon as we get a picture from the camera launch. And from about the 500-meter mark, the women's single is underway. Closest to us in lane 1 is Kendall Sinoski rowing for Craftsbury. Lane 2, Kayla Krichko for GMS. Lane 3, Emily Kaufels for Narragansett. And lane 4, Catherine Horvat rowing for Conshohocken. And it appears that out in front is Emily Kaufels from Narragansett. followed by Kayla Krichko from GMS, with Miss Sinowski from Craftsbury and Catherine Horvat from Conshohocken in third and fourth. But out in front with a few boats of open water is Emily Kaufels. And if you follow U19 racing at all, you remember this name from trials and events in the past few years. But the Kaufels doing a great job. There's Emily is coached by Andrew Kaufels, and just putting out some great rowers out of Narragansett. So Ms. Kaufels out in front. It's a great sculling program up at Narragansett. Peter Wilhelm coaching there also, award-winning coach. Hey, Emily Kaufels with many boats of open water out in front of the field. With a little more than 500 meters to go in this event. Okay, you guys are out. You guys are out. You guys head back up. From the top of the finish tower, Emily Kaufels out in front doing a great job. Few boat lengths of open water over Kayla Krichko, just to the right. Further to the right is Kendall Sinowski from Craftsbury. And just out of the picture to the left is Catherine Horvat from Conshohocken. About 400 meters to go, a little bit less. You can see the buoys turn from yellow to red. Red signifies the last 250 meters of the race. For all the results, you can go to herenow.com. Site's easy to navigate. Look for the race. And then the results, they pop up just a minute or so after the race is completed. Coming to the line, Emily Kaufels from Narragansett. And she will be representing the U.S. at the U23 event in Plovdiv, Bulgaria. Kayla Krichko from GMS. Catherine Horvat from Conshohocken. And Kendall Sinowski from Craftsbury. Next up will be the U23 men's double final. Referee making sure everybody's okay, then signaling a fair race to the referees in the finish tower. And we will get to the men's double as soon as we get a picture from the camera launch. We have Craftsbury of Montalvo and Perez out in front by open water. Between the 500 and the 750, they got almost a boat length over second place, Vogan and Neelan from Olympia Area Rowing. Third and fourth, Kearns and Pardini from SoCal Scullers in lane 1. That'd be closest to the camera boat. And then in lane 4, Williams and Orts from Penn AC. They're battling out for third and fourth, but Montalvo and Perez from Craftsbury well in front of Vogan and Neelan from Olympia Area Rowing and SoCal Scullers and Penn AC. It was a 3-boat race through the first 500 or so, and then Montalvo and Perez just laid it down, and nobody has been able to respond as they come to 500 meters to go. 500 meters to go. It's open water for Montalvo and Perez. The race for second, third, and fourth is tightening up, but it's only one team to go to the U23 World Championships in Plovdiv, Bulgaria, and that honor looks like it's going to Montalvo and Perez. And just a couple strokes to the line. Representing Craftsbury, Montalvo, and Perez with a few boat lengths of open water over second place, which looks like it's going to be Olympia Area Rowing, Mr. Vogelin and Neelan, followed by SoCal Scullers, Kearns and Pardini, and Penn AC in fourth, Williams and Orts. Next up is the women's double final. And we'll get to that just as soon as we have a picture from the camera launch. Getting close to the 500-meter mark, the women's double final. Lane 1, Solms and Nieves. Lane 2, Madden and Sherris. Lane 3, Cavallo and Moody. And lane 4, Delleman and Gutnecht. And it is Madden and Sherris out in front by open water. Again, if you had followed U19 rowing for a while, the Sherris name is very familiar. Out of Y Quad Cities, Miss Madden from CBC, Cambridge Boat Club. And this is a composite boat, and together they are rocking it. They have open water by at least a boat length at the 750. Miss Madden sitting in the stroke seat and Miss Sherris in the bow. And just moving very nicely together. A lot of experience between these two. As they get to about the 1,000-meter mark, it is open water for Madden and Sherris, representing Y Quad Cities and Cambridge Boat Club. The other three boats are unaffiliated. Madden and Sherris out in front with a commanding lead in the women's double. With just a little more than 500 meters to go, Madden and Sherris out in front by many boats of open water. Even with the commanding lead, Madden and Sherris are still look like they're really pressing. Stroke rate is still up with about 300 meters or so to go. When the buoys go from yellow to red, that's 250 meters to go, and they're getting pretty close to that. Second place looks to be Cavello and Moody, but with many boat lengths of open water behind. And across the line, Madden and Shares from Wyquois City's Cambridge Boat Club combo. And the unaffiliated boat of Cavello and Moody. And Delaman and Gutnecht. And on the far side, Solms and Nieves in fourth place. Next up will be the men's pair. And we'll go to that as soon as we get a picture from the camera launch. And underway is the men's pair. Closest to the camera, lane 1, is Andrew Gerd and Peter Arata. Lane 2 is Alexander Richards and Liam Corrigan. Lane 3 is Leo Tack and Julian Goldman. And in lane 4 is Garen Best and Justin Best. And as you may have guessed, the Best brothers, the Bests are brothers, and Justin attends Drexel University, just down the road in Philly. But right now, it is Mr. Corrigan and Richards from the Newell Training Center Development Camp up in Boston. They are out in front by less than a boat length over Mr. Goldman and Tuck from Carnegie Lake. And this race between those two boats looks like it's tightening up a little bit. Seattle area and Vesper battling for third and fourth, but first and second, the Newell Training Center Development Camp in Carnegie Lake. Here's a frozen picture, but you can still see there. Well, now the training center boat has moved out a bit as they've passed through the 1,000-meter mark. And they are continuing to move out a little bit more over the Carnegie Lake boat. Three-quarters of a boat length, maybe a little bit more for Mr. Corrigan and Richards. And they're pressing for an even larger advantage now. It's at least a full boat length for Richards and Corrigan over Goldman and Tuck as they get close to the 500 to go. $500 to go. It's Corrigan and Richards. You guys are out. You guys are out. From the top of the finish tower, you see all four boats. Your leader is the second boat from the right. That third 500, they really laid it down. Got a boat length of open water. And are cruising out in front. You also see Seattle area rowing in the picture. Guard and Arata. From this angle, it's hard to tell, but it looks like Goldman and Talk have come up a bit. I'm sorry, the Seattle area has come up a bit on that Carnegie Lake boat. But out in front, with a comfortable, that's easy for me to say, I'm not rowing right now, but it looks like a comfortable lead out front. Corrigan and Richards across the line. Carnegie Lake did move up on the Seattle area boat and finish second, with the Best brothers from representing Vesper finishing fourth. So congratulations to Corrigan and Richards, who represent the United States at the U23 World Championships in Plovdiv, Bulgaria. Next up is the men's lightweight single, and we'll get to that as soon as we get a picture from the camera launch. underway. Men's U23 lightweight single, lane 1, closest to the camera launch, is Hector Formosa Mures, rowing for Narragansett. Lane 2, Sam Melvin, SoCal Scullers. Lane 3, James Francis, New York AC. And lane 4 is Drake Duell from Craftsbury. And in the lead right now is Hector Formosa Mures from Narragansett. Second place looks to be James Francis. Third is Sam Melvin. And on the far side, rowing for Craftsbury, Drake Duell. Drake rows for Dallas United. Actually took second at the this year's Youth National Championship. So he's young. But rumor has it he has a monster erg score. So, but he only started sculling a year ago. So there's much in the future for him. But right now it is Hector Formosa Mures out in front. Followed by James Francis and then Sam Melvin. Francis and Melvin were not that far apart, so we'll see what where they are as they get closer. You got so Hector Formosa Mures out in front for the majority of this race, but James Francis coming back through that third 500. And then Sam Melvin getting into the picture too. As we get to the finish, this is tightening up. James Francis appears to have the lead now. But Sam Melvin, who's making a furious push also, can he get back up with James Francis? The Hector Formosa Mures from Narragansett on the far right, he's not out of it either. He was certainly leading for the majority of this race. The third 500 to start to fall off, and now he is in third place. James Francis then took over the lead. Sam Melvin, in between those two, is starting to come on very strong. Francis is closest to us. Melvin in the blue boat. Coming to the line. Francis with an open water deficit at the 1,000 comes through to win. Congratulations. Melvin finishing second. Hector Formosa Mures third. And Drake Duell in fourth place. Referee making sure all the rowers are okay. No protests. Everybody looks good. They'll raise the white flag and signal a fair race. Hopefully we'll see that in just a second. Yep, here it comes. Fair race. Next race up is the women's lightweight single final. At about the 750 is the women's lightweight single. In lane 1, closest to the camera launch, is Julia Knowles. Lane 2, from Craftsbury, Jennifer McIlvaine. Lane 3, from GMS, Elizabeth Schleyer. And lane 4, Molly Pierce from Union. And even though it's a frozen picture from the camera launch, it looks like GMS, Elizabeth Schleyer, is out in front followed by second place Jennifer McIlvaine from Craftsbury. On the far side from Union, Molly Pierce. Elizabeth Schlier out in front, followed by Jennifer McIlvaine in second place in the Craftsbury, the bright green. You can easily identify the Craftsbury people. But this is still a close race. About a half a boat length separates these two, with Julia Knowles and Molly Pierce battling for third and fourth. Elizabeth Schlier out in front. Now 3/4 of a boat length. You see Jennifer McIlvaine's bow right there. And they are staying pretty steady with about 700 meters to go in this race. Now a little push from Miss McIlvaine. We'll see if Miss Schlier can respond to this push. You can see Miss McIlvaine looking over, seeing that she's moving, and definitely has the momentum right now as they get close to 500 meters to go. And now Elizabeth Schlier is in second place with Jennifer McIlvaine out in front. Through that third 500, we saw the reversal happen. With 500 meters to go, it is Jennifer McIlvaine out in front. A handful of times this morning we've seen that third 500 work for some people, but not work for others. Third 500's the tough one. Through the first 1,000, you've still got adrenaline, you're up and you're going. You get to that third 500, it all starts to settle in, mainly the pain, I mean. And being able to push through that sometimes is difficult. Miss McIlvaine started to put a move on, looked like around 1,000, and went from being a boat length down. Now she is open water. Open water ahead, except on the far side we see Molly Pierce from the Union Boat Club Development Camp. And in this view, this perspective, she looks like she's way behind, but she's actually right there. She is coming up. In fact, she may be in the lead at this point. And Molly Pierce, who was in third place for a lot of this race, has powered through and is the winner. Congratulations, Molly Pierce, coming from third to first, doing a great job there. Ms. McIlvaine, I think, very disappointed. And in fourth place is Juliet Knowles from Founders. Wow. And it's a fair race called by the referees. Next race up will be the men's lightweight pair final. Well underway is the men's lightweight pair final. Lane 1, Roberts and McGowan from TBC Racing. Lane 2, Sindelbach and Walker from PNRA Mercer. Lane 3, Gerhard and Taylor from Olympia Area Rowing. 3-boat race. And right now it looks like Sindelbach and Walker from PNRA Mercer out in front, ahead of Roberts and McGowan from TBC Racing, and third is Gerhard and Taylor from Olympia Rowing. Open water, Sindelbach and Walker out in front, rowing for the Princeton National Rowing Association Mercer, PNRA. They have about 700 meters to go with open water for Sindelbach and Walker out front doing a nice job rowing the pair. It's a fun boat to row if you can make it go. It's a nightmare if your pair partner and you don't match very well. But these two look like they're matching very nicely. From the top of the finish tower, Sindelbach and Walker out in front. Second place is Mr. Roberts and McGowan. But they are a little bit of open water behind. We've seen a lot of dramatic changes in that third 500, but with just about 250 meters to go, Mr. Roberts and McGowan had to do a serious push to catch up with our leaders from PNRA. The margin is tightening a little bit. But as they get closer to the line, you can see the true perspective. And it's about a boat length. And Sindelbach and Walker across the line. Followed by Roberts and McGowan. And in third place, it's Gerhard and Taylor. Next up is the men's lightweight double. And we'll get to that as soon as we have a picture from the camera launch. Men's lightweight double underway. Lane 1 from Vesper, Bickhart and Morello. Lane 2 from Seattle Area Rowing, Angelio and Sullivan. Lane 3, SoCal Scullers, Madden and Burnick. And lane 4 is Oklahoma City High Performance Center, and I do not have names for them, I'm sorry. So right now it looks like SoCal Scullers and the OKC boat are battling it out for that first place position. And those are lanes 3 and 4. SoCal Scullers with a slight advantage. About a deck length over the OKC boat. Now let's see what happens in the third 500. The third 500's been pretty interesting today. A lot of reversals have happened after the 1,000-meter mark. These two boats holding pretty steady here, with about a half-length advantage going to Madden and Burnick from SoCal Scullers. Maybe a little more of an advantage now to SoCal Scullers, Madden and Burnick. OKC not quite being able to maintain the speed. .500 meters to go. It's almost a boat length for Madden and Burnick. Lanes 3 and 4 with SoCal Scullers maintaining that boat length lead. Coming to the line, it's SoCal Scullers. Mr. Madden and Burnick, congratulations. Oklahoma City, Vesper, and then Seattle Area Rowing. Women's lightweight double is underway. Lane 1. Riona McCormick and Sarah Miata. Lane 2 is Kathleen Hickey and Brianna Goldstein. Lane 3 is Catherine Ruffalo and Agatha Dennis. And lane 4, you know why I'm pausing, Seorse Kennedy, Ms. Kennedy, and Olivia Farrar. Seorse. And we're having some issues with the camera launch. So we are watching this from the finish tower. And they are through the 1,000 meter at this point. About 700 or so meters to go. And rowing for PNRA Mercer, it's Hickey and Goldstein out in front, but by a half a boat. And look right there, Ruffalo and Dennis from Union, and Kennedy and Farrar from Narragansett right there with them. But Hickey and Goldstein seem to be holding on to their lead, actually extending it a little bit here through the third 500. They have about 600 meters to go. Look at this. There's McCormick and Miata right there. These 3 boats breathing down the neck of Hickey and Goldstein. And even though that looks like a comfortable lead, you know that, and they certainly know, that a bad stroke, a bobble, hitting a buoy with a blade could send them back a boat length. So they are keeping it together, rowing nicely, with just about 500 meters to go. On the outside, Kennedy and Farrar, look at them coming up. This race is tightening up as they're getting close to the finish line. That boat length lead that Hickey and Goldstein had evaporated a little bit with Kennedy and Farrar pushing into them. It was about a half a boat difference when the camera boat had to turn back. Just about 250 meters to go. And this is turning into a real barn burner. Hickey and Goldstein were out in front, challenged by Kennedy and Farrar. Now on the far side, McCormick and Miata in lane 1. They're getting back into the mix. Closest to us is Narragansett, Kennedy and Farrar. And they look like they have the lead at this point. Wow. What a push they made to take the win. Kennedy and Farrar from Narragansett. Hickey and Goldstein in second. McCormick Miata in third, and Ruffalo and Dennis in fourth. lightweight men's quad is underway. And right now it looks like it is between Vesper and SoCal Scullers. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, we're missing a boat here. This is 2. This is Crescent. And on the far side of them is, well, looks like we have Crescent out in front. But I'm sorry, I don't know who scratched. But it looks like it's Penn AC and SoCal Scullers in second and third, with Crescent out in front by what looks to be about a boat length. And this boat is Nicholas Olimpo, Stephen Chang, Benjamin Weaver, and Casey Hauschel. From the top of the finish tower, you can see the Crescent Boat Club boat well out in front here. Doing a nice job. They have about 2 boats of open water. Again, the third 500 really did it for them. They laid it down and just cracked it open and are just going for more and more open water. So Crescent Boat Club, and this is Vesper coming second. And Penn AC third. So some happy boys down there. Crescent representing the United States and Plovdiv. Congratulations. Next up is the women's lightweight quad. And that is the last event of the morning. The U19 events are scheduled to start up this evening at 6:45. And getting close to the 1,000-meter mark, lightweight women's quad, lane 1, SoCal Scullers, lane 2, Union, and lane 3, Craftsbury. Union out by 3/4 of a boat length right now. You can see the SoCal Scullers bow right there, not far away from them. Craftsbury appears to be off the pace a bit. So right now, it's Union out front, followed by SoCal Scullers, followed by Craftsbury. And we don't even see the bow of the SoCal Scullers boat, because they are just a fraction open water behind, just the teeniest little bit right there. And now overlapping, and it's just sort of back and forth between those, overlapping and being a boat length behind, or open water behind. But it is Union out in front, with about 500 meters to go. About 400 meters to go. We're getting close to the red buoys, which signify 250 meters to go. It is Union out in front, and it appears that they now have open water over SoCal Scullers. Camera launch is a little bit behind, so and a little bit of a misstroke in the Union boat, but still maintaining that lead of about a boat length. As they get close to the line, it actually looks like it's tightening up just a little bit. As they come to the line, it is Union with just about a boat length over the SoCal Scullers. And third place is Craftsbury. And that wraps up the morning racing. The U19 continue this evening at 6:45. Thank you for watching.